Hey guys, welcome back to Break Time with Beanie, where we talk about everything and anything under the sun and below the moon. My name is Beanie, and even though it is the 38th episode, to which I can't even believe that it's the 38th episode already, in a way, this is gonna be the very first episode. That's all English. It's gonna be a more challenging episode for me, yes, since I'm so used to speaking in Taglish. But one of the reasons why I did this is when I checked my analytics on Anchor, about 22% of my listeners are from countries outside the Philippines. Given that some of you maybe are Filipinos and are just listening from the other parts of the countries, or if you have VPN, yes, but there's really peculiar statistics. A big chunk is from, yes, of course, USA, Canada, even in Germany. Another thing is, I would like to challenge myself more in this episode. So, even though I am somehow proficient at English, it's really different when you do something all in English compared to doing it in Taglish or even 80% English, 20% Tagalog. This is going to be an interesting episode. And I think if you're someone that I know who doesn't know how to speak Tagalog, this is probably the first episode that I'm going to refer you to. So, hi, welcome. Regardless, if you are part of that percentage who are listening and do not know how to speak Tagalog and only understand English, or you've been listening for my podcast for quite some time and you've been enjoying it in Taglish, or if this is your first time, regardless of how you found me, of what status you are currently when listening, I hope that you are all ready because even though this is in English, we are going to have a very, very interesting topic to you guys. Let's get right into it. So, this episode that we are going to talk about is things, or rather signs, uncommon signs, unexpected signs that you are in the right path. I remember way back during my beanie hiking slash trekking era. Yes, there is such a past like that. As I hiked, the forest would all look the same to me. And you know that it's a well maintained forest or place when there's no modern paths, there's no neon lights that display advertisements or things such as this way, this is the path to the exit, or anything like that. Kind of like very untouched nature. And as good as it looks and it feels to be in there, it also means that it's easy to get lost if you're not careful. That's why, in order to make sure you're still on the correct path towards your destination, whether it be on the mountain, which is, going to the peak and then going down on the other side, or when you're going through forests, you tend to look for signs. Signs such as, are there any fresh tracks? Have you passed by this peculiar scenery before? Is there any somehow very small signages made out of wood, handwritten, that corresponds or leads you to where you are supposed to go? And, a lot more. Or maybe another example would be with driving. Wow, driver. Beanie driver era. For example, you are confident that you're in the right path, even when it's unfamiliar, because you see the signs that say Cavite, 26 kilometers ahead, or Manila to the right, 2 kilometers ahead, or this is going to SLEX, and if this is not your road, take a U turn on the next 300 miles. And also, you see the stores or the establishments that have the addresses underneath that, for example, says BPI Dasmariñas. So you know that you're in Cavite, you know that you're in Dasmariñas. Therefore, you know or have an idea of where you are, how long it's going to take you to reach your destination, and if there are anything that, adjustments that you need to do. In a way, this is kind of similar to our lives, wherein it is challenging to know if what you're doing is right, and more importantly, if where you are going is right. Because there are so many roads to take, especially with the boom of social media, with a lot of people, even strangers online or with the network that you know telling you to do this, to go there, to not take that path. And there are so many decisions to consider. And I don't know if it's just me that doesn't really feel confident if I'm still on the path where I intend to be. But I know some of you can relate to this because life can be so overwhelming. And before you know it, when you look around, it's all unfamiliar. You're just there in the forest, you see trees, and you don't know if you should keep moving forward or if you are in the incorrect path. That's why we need signs. And for this episode 38, we're going to talk about the uncommon signs that you are still in the right path. And when I say uncommon, I guess for me, these are the things right now that we usually do not expect when we're looking for a sign that we're on the right path. However, some of these can be a sign for you once you're familiar with it. So here we go. First uncommon sign that you're in the right path is there will be enemies. Once you decide to do the right thing, once you aim for a goal, your goal, and act on it, there will always be resistance, especially in the form of people. I've said this so many times in my podcast that not everybody will like you, just as you don't like everybody out there. And some people dislike what you do, but there are really some people, even strangers, who, for some godforsaken reason, are really out there to get you. Haters, enemies, they will be present when you're on the right path. But too often we assume that just because there's somebody trying to stop us, then we may not be on the right road, that it paralyzes us and makes us reconsider if it is really worth moving forward. Because why take the road that has a lot of opposition, that has a lot of people hating on you, right? It doesn't seem to be the right road, doesn't look like the correct path. But I've had this profound moment from a post that I've read on social media. It says, enemies in video games are an indication that you're going the right way. When you see like enemies and you meet a really hard opponent or boss, you don't say, "Oh man, I think I'm going the wrong way." No, oh, this is the boss round. That means that if I beat this, I'll be going higher. That means I'm on the correct path because I've just had a scene or I see the boss in front of me, right? So in life, all things considered with self awareness, when there's resistance from people, notably from those outside your small inner trusted circle, then it may be a sign that you are on the right path. The correct road contains resistance and may bring wrong people to say wrong things about your vision, but that doesn't mean you're on the wrong place. Hand in hand with the second unusual sign or uncommon sign that you are on the right path are affirmations. Seeing the situation from the inside can narrow our perspective. That's why confirmations, advices from wise people you trust will go a long way because they can see what you might not be able to see. And I'm not saying that you should bait affirmations and fish for yeses because it still needs to be balanced. But asking for people's opinions is just as important as brushing off the negativity from the wrong people or haters. So, those, as I said, go hand in hand. And when you have a genuine thing that you're working on, the right people will never fail to affirm you in ways you do not expect. Another sign that you are on the right path is there will be hurt. It might seem strange to associate pain with being on the right path because we were conditioned to believe that success, happiness, and fulfillment come without struggles, without pain. But enduring these hurts can be a powerful indicator that you're pushing your boundaries. You're growing. Growing includes pain, like how you've grown from your baby tooth to a permanent one, or when you go to the gym, right? Your muscles, aching will let you know that it was a good workout. And it doesn't feel good because not feeling good doesn't equate that you're doing the wrong thing. Hurt may signify that you're taking the necessary risks and confronting your fears It's kind of like a testament that you're growing because you are on the right path. Like, for instance, when you feel hurt because of constructive criticism, it shows you're humble and really taking it in. Thus, it makes you open to learning and improving. Remember that hurt can be a sign to not retreat, but a sign to persevere. It's a path towards a more authentic and fulfilling life. So when you feel hurt, as ironic as it sounds, rejoice because it means you're not numb or callous enough to be unteachable. And also because it may mean that you're still on the right path. Fourth sign that you're on the right path is downtimes. This can be seen as setbacks, yes, but for me, I see this as a proof that I'm doing something relevant or significant. That is why my body, my heart, my mind is demanding a downtime, unpausable pause, a forced break. Because downtimes offer a chance for introspection. Wow, deep word. A lot of us, with what's happening on our lives, we're constantly on the go. It's easy to lose sight of the more important things, and taking a step back during these downtimes can help recover and make you come back stronger. At times, you will ask yourself, I've had so many of these downtimes, burnout. Is this really the way I want to go? Am I really on the right path, or am I just wasting time? But you gotta understand that these downtimes are perfectly normal wherever you are. You will not be excellent all the time. I'll repeat that for all the perfectionists like me. You will not be excellent all the time. You won't have good results every time. And you've got to be all right with that because it's okay. There is nothing in this world that blooms all year long. So do not expect yourself to do so. Remember that being on the right path, it's not a race, it's a journey. These are two different things. On a race, you have to go as quickly as possible, right? On a sprint race or something. But on a journey, you can rest up, you can do side quests, you can learn more about people, you can take it slow if needed. But don't forget to get up and walk. Don't run because it's not a race, but a journey. Another uncommon sign that you are in the right path is less people. Aw. Now it's not that they became enemies, okay? But because you've just had fewer people in your circle. And as sad as this sounds, it is inevitable, at least in my experience. It may also seem counterintuitive, but finding yourself surrounded by fewer people can actually be a strong sign that you're on the right path. Because as you grow, your social circles will naturally change. Your interests, visions, goals, principles, they will no longer align with them, thus a falling off, so to speak. And a lot of you can relate to that. Maybe you've cut them off, maybe they've cut you off, or maybe, it's just a friendship that just slowly faded away. Because as you hone more your vision, your goals, the more, serious you are with pursuing your dream, the lesser people will be around you. It's like a weeding out of relationships that are not aligned with your values because not everybody is interested to be with you in the tough, challenging times, only the fun moments. And of course, to balance it out, not everybody will fully like support you or be there for you in building your kingdom or in building your goal, because they are going to be too busy, maybe building their kingdoms, maybe building up their goals, right? Whether it's the first or the second reason or something else, this is gonna seem scary at first. I remember when I was just very young. Well, young. I was so sure that I'm doing the wrong things because people around me just became less and less. And so I opted to go back to my people pleasing self. And to make the long story short, it was not a good run. And I had to recalibrate away from that path because I realized that there are a lot of things that I want to do that people will not support or understand. And that's okay. But at the same time, I know that if I do these things, at least there will be quality people who will be with me, who will support me. So don't think of backing out from the right path. Although there's lesser people, that means there's also lesser noise, fewer distractions, and surrounding yourself with a smaller circle of, as I said, a supportive, like minded individuals can produce deeper and more meaningful connections with the support that you will not only want, but you will also need. So, as you progress to the path you took and, you notice there's lesser and lesser people, that's all right. Don't wallow in your loneliness. It's part of the process. And soon you'll look back and understand in hindsight why you lost those people during those times. But if you don't, it is what it is. Rest assured that there will be like minded people who will be with you as your journey continues towards the right path. Who knows? I could be one of those too, right? Or maybe I can be one of the friends that you cut off. Sino ba naman ako? Wait, I forgot this in English. Sorry, that was a slang for those who don't understand Tagalog. Anyway, not gonna edit it out. So it's gonna be 99% English episode, not really 100%. Anyway, again, on to my last point, and I hope that you guys took notes, but if not, of course, you can feel free to play it again. Basically, we've covered the uncommon signs that you're in the right path for me. There's a lot of common signs that you're in the right path, and I guess I just didn't want to focus on that, although I can make an episode regarding that if you want, but I just wanted to focus on the uncommon signs that we are on the right path. However, despite this episode, containing those uncommon things, I really want to insert this one because it has been instrumental for me way back when I was completely lost in deciding, pursuing, and going. So this may be kind of like a common sign, but maybe uncommon for a lot of us. One of the signs that you're on the right path is there will be peace. But Beanie, there's enemies. There's fewer people. Yada yada yada. How can there be peace? I understand. But the peace I'm talking about is not founded on good quiet times. It's not founded on the number of people that surrounds you. Peace can be found in chaos. Peace can be obtained in the middle of a storm. And peace is not a treasure you go out looking for. It's closer than you think. And it doesn't ask much from you. Having that peace, knowing that what you did is right, where you're going is good, despite the persecutions, anxiety, and the unknown. Peace is not an assurance that you'll be number one and hit that big crazy goal. Peace is knowing that whatever happens, it will be all right. And as the psalmist puts it in chapter 30, verse 5, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. This is the 38th episode. It just seems like yesterday that this is the first, and we're going to the 38th, and oh my goodness, I cannot believe that I'm still speaking English. But yeah, should I have not done an outro? But anyway, just want to give a big shout out to everyone who's still listening on this episode. We've gone a long way. We started from the bottom, now we're here. Thank you for the continuous support. Feel free to like my page, Break Time with Beanie. Follow me on Instagram, it's Beanieeeee. If this is your first time listening to this podcast in all English, then I guess what I can say is try listening to other episodes also. No, because this is my first time to do this, and in terms of technicality, there may be some things that I lack. So if you had fun on this episode, you'll have more fun in the other episodes that I have. So feel free to browse through the titles that I have. I have a lot of episodes I can post about that now. Yeah, I guess that's it. I'll stop yapping now because I don't have an outline. But once again, thank you so much.